Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Renee Eisenhuth, and I am a program coordinator within the Office of Professional Programs. I want to welcome you to the UMBC College Teaching and Learning Science Fall 2020 Open House. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some housekeeping items. Please note that this session will be recorded for quality assurance purposes. And in order to provide the best experience for you and all other attendees, please keep your microphone muted throughout the entire session. If questions arise during the presentation, please feel free to utilize the WebEx chat feature to submit your question. We have outlined some question and answer period at the end of the presentation to address your questions. In the event that we are unable to answer your questions, we will touch base with you via email. We hope you enjoy your presentation, and without much more introduction, I want to introduce you to the Graduate Program Director, Dr. O'Brien, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our certificate program, which is the College Teaching and Learning Science. This kind of a certificate is a graduate level certificate that is for individuals from any discipline. Right now, we have students who are social workers. We have someone in public policy. We have someone who is practicing law who would like to teach at a law school. And we have an individual in a nonprofit who is doing humanitarian work out of the country. So still able to do this totally online program. And we hope to help you transition or prepare you to teach adults in higher education or those that are college learners. Our program is run by UMBC faculty who have been either teaching or doing evaluative work in higher ed. All of us have had significant number of years working with college students and have seen from the Gen X to the millennials to the Generation Z that we're working with now. So you will be interacting with faculty who have that frontline knowledge and experience. We'll be talking about the different jobs in college teaching that does involve some technology, and you do get some of that in this program. I will go through a little program overview for you. Our online program consists of 15 credits, and those 15 credits are over 5 courses that if you took one course a semester would take you 4 semesters or 3 semesters in the summer to complete. The program was designed and offered through the Department of Psychology because we're talking about learning science and really the foundational aspects of learning and what we understand about individuals and people in the process of learning. Their cognitive development, their cognitive processing really comes out of psychological and neurological literature. So we're very pleased to have this in the Department of Psychology. UMBC itself has a great reputation for college teaching. We're ranked by U.S. News and World Report as the number 12 top university for undergrad teaching. And as you look at that, we also are known for our innovation. It's not only our retention and the success of our graduates, but the fact that we are using state-of-the-art technology and best practices in the classroom. We are the only school in Maryland in the top 20 for undergrad teaching and innovation. We provide a comprehensive quality education at what we do believe is a manageable cost if you look across many systems in the U.S. We're ranked number 3 in the nation for achieving social and economic impact. This is according to the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings, which holds that social justice and inclusion and diversity as a primary aspect of all of our programs. So if you're looking at coming in for this certificate, you're probably wondering, where are the jobs in college teaching? Well, community colleges come to mind very quickly because there are so many of these located either in counties or in cities or some type of municipal jurisdiction. And within community college, they're always looking for experts in the field to come in and work with college-age students. So this program would help you understand the college learners modality for learning best and for how to reach out and provide a very comprehensive education for them. Four-year universities, those that typically don't have that many or any graduate programs, their focus is on liberal arts and I think within our four-year universities that are close by in Maryland that I could speak to, you're probably looking at a number of private colleges. Our research universities tend to be the universities that are in systems whereby many professors are there primarily doing their research. And because research takes so much of their time, they need to bring in adjuncts or part-time faculty to provide the education to the college learners. With that integration of research, but the actual courses, frontline work is typically done with individuals who are totally focused on teaching. You will see in the job ads, if you're looking at highered.com or the Chronicle of Higher Ed or any of the local web type based programs that provide you with jobs in the area and education, you will see that there's a lot out there for adjunct, part-time, and even sometimes full-time higher ed teaching. Typically, they're looking for experts in practice who may have some desire to teach, maybe part-time on the side in the evening or on the weekends. If you're currently in graduate study, most of us know that in graduate school, you basically are in your discipline, you are doing research in your discipline and focused in on most of the important aspects and research in that particular field. But you don't get the education aspect in your graduate preparation for how now to disseminate information to an undergraduate learner or a graduate learner. If you're retooling after military service, this would be an ideal program for you. You've got a lot of expertise with the military and coming back and offering and sharing some of your knowledge to students who are just coming into college is a real opportunity to give back to the community. If you're teaching at the primary or secondary level and you're working with younger people, this is an ideal time to learn about andragogy, which is the science of adult learning, and the approaches and best practices that we use. If you're transitioning from another career, say that you've been working in industry for a number of years and you're thinking, I really would like to go into education for a number of reasons. For some people, it's the passion to teach. For others, it's the convenience of the predictable schedule, the academic calendar, whatever it is. If you're transitioning from another career, you are bringing skills from the field to the college classroom, which is very valuable to our undergraduates who will be entering the workforce fairly soon. Or if you're looking for post-retirement teaching, that's an ideal utilization of your skills, because with all of your years of work and employment and expertise and experience, what you bring to the classroom post-retirement is extremely important. And this kind of a certificate, whether you're looking at an adjunct position or a call for a part-time employment, it's going to distinguish your application from other candidates because you are going to learn about learning science and actually applying that to the community college, four-year college, or research university environment, which is a leg up with other people who are just coming from the industry field into higher ed. So what would this program really teach you? Well, we have program outcomes across these 5 courses. in our certificate program. And one is to complete the Quality Matters rubric. This is the first course that you would take, includes Quality Matters. Quality Matters is the flagship workshop that provides you assistance in designing online and blended courses, but it also helps you in creating your face-to-face course so that it puts some criteria and quality assurance processes into this kind of a creation or design of courses. Quality, especially as it pertains to educational courses and programs, can be a kind of a nebulous word. But with your QM certification that you will get, you can be confident that you're not only taking the quality of your course and program seriously, but you can meet the national and internationally recognized standards. So for you, quality is going to be more than just a claim, it's a commitment. And the QM certification you're going to get, that proves your commitment to a quality higher ed program. So in your applications, when they see you have that certification, that tells someone that you have really looked at what you need to do to be successful in the college classroom. You will be learning how to apply learning science up front. And this is an interesting aspect to teaching. As I'm teaching the first course this semester, we are learning how to look at a learner-centered approach to teaching, which is very different from the Socratic method. And the students are becoming more engaged with how the learner becomes more active, not only in the learning environment, but in the creation and design of how that course is going to run. You're going to acquire contemporary technological skills. You can't avoid technology in education and how to use technology, not just for the sake of technology, but for a very particular purpose. And it's going to deliver outcomes that you're looking for in a very effective and efficient way. You're going to assess learning at several levels. You'll learn how to evaluate students and their learning, but also the learning in the entire course, as well as the entire program. That is a third course you'll get in our program that will help you be a good evaluator of learning. You're going to understand course development. It's not simply coming in and saying, I'm going to tell you all about sociology today and what it's like to work in a community. You're going to have a course that has great objectives that align to evaluation in the course, that a student coming in could read your syllabus and know what they need to do to be successful. Our approach to teaching is very positive. We aim to have every student who comes into the program to be successful. You're going to utilize innovative strategies that are used across the U.S. and are empirically proven to be best practices. Different maneuvers one can use: team-based learning, group learning, blended learning. You're going to learn how students need to self-pace. You'll use different strategies to engage students, sometimes in a backwards design so that they come from what the outcome should be, and they themselves work backwards to figure out what they need to do to become efficient at that particular outcome. You're also going to learn about the diverse college population. There's always been, I think, the change in our society that people have been sensitive to. But today, when I have a new adjunct coming in to teach who has not had any teaching preparation, they are simply amazed at the diversity one sees in the classroom. There are international students. There are students who come to us with different views on life, different political aspirations, different sense of themselves as who they are. So it's a matter of learning about inclusion and diversity and the special needs we see in the classroom. Individuals who maybe 20, 30 years ago would have been told they have learning disabilities. But as they are now in the mainstream, we are learning how to focus our educational progress to meet the needs of diverse students. So there are visual aspects, auditory aspects, and actual hands-on work for individuals who need that concrete approach to education. What is really cool and what I really value in this program is that you are going to come in and go through 5 courses and leave with a teaching portfolio. And that is something you would take to a job interview. It shows what your certificate looks like in Quality Matters, how you have been prepared. You're going to have a syllabus that you have designed, a learning plan that you have designed for a college situation, and you're going to have in there a video or an accounting transcript of a course you have taught with student evaluation to it. So even if you haven't had teaching experience in the past, you're going to get that teaching in the practicum and be able to include that in your teaching portfolio as you go for a job interview. So we're really trying to help prepare you for the job market. So what if you already do training and technical assistance? Well, we're going to polish that off and we're going to expand those skills for you. What if you already teach in high school? You probably have some of the earlier foundational skills that we're going to be able to take and raise up to that andragogical level so that you learn how to scaffold learning for the college learner. And if you're transitioning from a career, this is great because I've got a student now who has never taught and she's learning about the learning science aspect of things. And she's thinking, gosh, this is really focused in on how to teach. And I'm bringing my background, all my years of work in the public sector to share with people, and I'm learning how to share it. So I think for anybody, this is a wonderful program that will prepare you to enter into the classroom and be successful. The courses are important to look at, and we do offer at least one course each semester. Sometimes there are 2. The 5 courses, the first one is 501, which is the Applied Learning Science. This is where you get that Quality Matters certification up front. You're learning how to write objectives and outcomes and align those to the evaluation of the student's learning so that the student and you both have the criteria in front of you on what they need to do to be successful. You'll learn about how to design a course. You learn about course content and a little bit about institutional infrastructures. You really do work with a learning management system. That's the LMS. You'll learn both Canvas and Blackboard while you're here. Canvas is used by Quality Matters, and UMBC, we use Blackboard. Once you have used a learning management system, I think you can work to any system that is being used in any given community college or university. They basically are very similar, and it gives you some flexibility. Your learning will be quicker. It will help you with readiness to teach, and you'll be able to identify the student readiness in the classroom. 502 looks at best practices in college teaching. And this is the course that actually has you looking at different ways to engage, to motivate, and to assist students to be successful. It also enters into the technology here. So you will learn some software programs that are out there, something like VoiceThread, that allows students to either text or do a verbal recording to demonstrate their knowledge. Different pieces of software are integrated into various courses. You'll become comfortable with it. I think there's a lot of fear around technology if you haven't worked with it, but I can tell you with my class this fall, these students after 6 weeks have become very acclimated to problem solving with the learning management system and some of the software that I'm using in the course that I would expect them to use in their course that they're going to be teaching. 503 looks at assessment. If you were coming from the classic educational preparation of the 70s and 80s. A lot of what you get in 501 is curriculum and instruction. If you're coming into 503, this is classic test and measurement, but it's expanded to look at all levels of assessment, which is really important if you're entering into college teaching, because colleges today have to demonstrate the outcomes that they are producing. So they have to have some measure of evaluation of the students they are putting out to the workforce. So you will learn about course level assessment of students, evaluating their learning, how you would evaluate the program, students coming out maybe with a degree in political science, and how do you measure that type of outcome for your graduates? How does each course contribute to the program? And then how does the program contribute to the institutional level? So there really is a map and a science here. You'll learn how to map the curriculum so that you target the key outcomes that each course provides for a student who is going through a particular program. Your final course, there are actually two, 504A and 504B. One is the teaching practicum and the other is the seminar, and they go hand in hand together. Important because that is your supervision while you're in the classroom. You will select a placement. We will help you find one if we can, depending on your geographic location. You will identify a course and work in that course for that semester. Your product from there is going to be a teaching session that would be either videotaped or done with like Panopto streaming so that you can see and self-reflect on how well you are interacting in the classroom. And you can see in this particular picture here for the classroom, kids aren't in that classic lecture hall setting anymore. They're at round tables doing group work. The teacher is highly interactive, not glued to the podium on the stage, and is walking around getting to know the students, seeing what they're seeing, talking to them. Most of them have their laptops open, and for sure they've got their phones on the table. They're going to be highly motivated and highly interactive. And the goal of this teaching practicum is to give you that face-to-face experience. So you have in your teaching portfolio that example of a course that you have taught. The supervision is going to be supportive with one-on-one supervision, getting that consultative kind of an approach to how well you're doing in the classroom, how comfortable you are. Are you applying everything from 501, 502, and 503 that you have learned into the particular course you're teaching? And that whole program then is 15 credits. I have seen students expect and project out that they will take 2 courses the first semester, 1 the second, and then do a full semester with 504A and B. In 501, that's offered spring and fall, and I do recommend that people take that first, but it's not essential. If you have no education background, I would tell you to take it first. It's offered in the spring and fall. Again, it's online, so it's asynchronous, which means that you can do all the coursework at your convenience. Now, I do have synchronous sessions that I set up with the class, and this semester, Wednesdays from 7 to 8 at night. It's like every other week we touch base and we do kind of a book club. We review what we're reading and what is making sense to people as we're going through some of the projects they're doing. They're doing a syllabus, they're doing a lesson plan, and they're going to do a white paper after reading in some of the course literature that we're looking at. And predominantly, it's about adult learning, the science behind it, linking theory and practice, and then looking at that learner-centered approach, which is aimed at success for all students. 502 is offered in fall and in the summer, which is either a 6 or 8 week session. Again, synchronous and asynchronous. Most of it is asynchronous, with that consultation being more synchronous. So you may have an hour once a month or every other week, depending on how long the summer course will be. Again, best practices in technology. And the highlight here is how to engage and motivate students in learning. So you're going to learn some best practices. 503 is offered in the spring, sometimes in the summer. We're looking at the best placement for that, and we will adjust the sequencing according to our students' needs. So we're trying to be very flexible. This is the course, again, providing assessment and evaluation of learning. And then 504A and 504B are going to be offered both in the spring and the fall. And it is the last 2 courses you would take. So you need 501, 502, and 503 before you can register for that teaching practicum. Just to reiterate how important that is. And you should take it by itself. Trying to tag on, another course would be too much. 504A is 135 clock hours in that classroom. So that would be similar to 1 day a week of going into a classroom, teaching. Your prep time, your reflection time is also in there. It is manageable and can be done if you're teaching a community college course or a university course. It articulates well with the schedule for that class. So I think it is, very doable. 504B is your seminar and what we call supervision, which is a consultative model, which means one-on-one, highly individual. And you will have that teaching portfolio when you come out with your QM certification that shows you can create a syllabus, you can devise a learning situation, you can align your learning outcomes with the evaluation of the course, and you are using highly recognized standards for quality in higher education. Now, I'm hoping you all have looked at the admission requirements. You can have a master's degree in any discipline, or you can be currently enrolled in a graduate program. We like to see a GPA of 3.0 or higher from your undergraduate program. GRE scores are not required. We like to see a focused goal statement. So please articulate how this certificate is going to enhance your professional goals. What would it do for you? Because we want to match your goal to what we can offer to make sure that your investment of time and finance in this program is well matched. All right. Any of your relevant prior life and/or work experience or your academic preparation is really important. You have letters of recommendation, some positive ratings, and talking about your potential in those letters of reference. Your resume should be included with some level of work experience, internships, or any grad assistant experience that you've had, or any teaching you've done in the community, whether it's volunteer or for pay. Tuition, financial aid, and billing. This is important for everybody to look at. Tuition and fees for fall 2020. We're assuming will roll over into spring. If you are a Maryland resident or a qualifying regional resident, it's $675 per credit, and this includes the technology fee. For non-Maryland residents, it's $11.48 per credit. Again, that includes the online tech fee that is in all programs. For any information, there are scholarships. You really should look at this very seriously. Financial Aid and Scholarship Office. You see the link there. And the Student Business Services for any, financial payment or any kind of payment plan you want to look at. For those of you who are teaching in community college, there's a special scholarship. And you need to be community college faculty right now. Admitted students only qualifying, you have to enroll for 6 credits. So you could do 501 and 502 or 501 and 503 in the spring. There's a $1,000 tuition scholarship offering. It's a one-time scholarship and it cannot be combined with other scholarships. But we do have a student right now who's taking advantage of that scholarship as she's employed at a community college. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to email me. I'm Eileen O'Brien, the program director. And you see eobrien@umbc.edu, or Renee, who is extremely knowledgeable. She's our professional programs coordinator, can answer any question you have. Her email there, reisen@umbc.edu, or email the program at collegeteaching@umbc.edu. For people who have attended today, you can apply for the Special Populations Code, which is DPS 2021, to waive the $50 application fee. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer it. Renee, if there are any questions or anybody's put anything in the chat, please let me know. We look forward to your application. Don't hesitate. If you have any question, apply. That would be my recommendation. Just simply apply and we'll work through it with you. Thank you for coming today.